I want to watch the news.
Are you making headway at least?
This is the news.
Schmack-a-ma-gob, it's time for the only news that matters. And in a new interview with Guitar Interactive magazine, Zakk Wylde once again spoke about the possibility of the reformed Pantera lineup making new music. Asked if he would be open to work on new material with Pantera, Zakk said, well, the fellows, Phil and Rex, were talking about doing something. And Rita Hanley, the longtime girlfriend of Dimebag, has tons of cassettes recordings of Dime writing riffs and stuff like that. So I guess it would be like something like, let's say if Eric Clapton is playing with Jimi Hendrix Experience with Mitch Mitchell and Noel Redding. Because if Eric went out and did what we're doing right now, did a Jimi Hendrix celebration, and Mitch and Noel are dead, asked Eric Clapton to come out because he was buddies with Jimmy, and there they were like, would you go out and sing and play Jimmy stuff? And Eric does it, and then after that it's like, we've got these recordings that Jimmy never finished, a song called Purple Haze. What the hell is Zakk talking about? All right, let's bypass this crap. All right, I'll read here. Zakk previously discussed the prospect of making new music with Pantera during a February 2024 appearance on Sirius XM Skunk Nation with Eddie Skunk. Asked if he would be open to working on new material with Pantera, and Zakk said at the time, no, I think you would have to call it something else. You know what I mean? Pantera is those four guys, so yeah, you can't replace that. Of course, it's talking sense there, you know? She's saying before, like, oh, there's riffs and the guys are talking about doing a Pantera album. You can't do a Pantera album. It's impossible for Zakk Wylde and Charlie to make a Pantera album. Look, I saw Pantera, okay, with Charlie and Zakk. It was not the same. Back in the day, when I saw Pantera with Dimebag and Vinny, and I love Glamterra, I love Terry Glaze, but to me the real Pantera is the later stuff. The one that a lot of people are like, I only like the early stuff. I'm the opposite. No, I love the early stuff and I love the later stuff. But seeing them live, the precision that Dime and Vinny had on their instruments, the way they both locked in, I did not see it that night I saw Zakk and Charlie. Zakk is an awesome guitar player. He played Dimebag solos the way Zakk would, you know? It didn't have that razor sharp precision that Dime had. It doesn't. He's a great player, but he's no Dime. I mean, I really realized it that night. I was like, wow, I never realized how, I always knew Dime was one of the greatest guitar players, but Jesus Christ, seeing Zakk trying to be Dime, that wasn't good. I know a lot of people love it because, hey, you know, the music's living on and I miss Dime. Okay, yeah, but you're a little blinded by emotions because that's not at the level of Dime. And Charlie, to a lesser extent, Charlie is pretty close. I'm not saying he's as bad as Zakk. Zakk played great, I'm just saying. But Charlie lacks that precision as well that Vinny had, but he's almost there. He does everything else great, but that locked-in precision he had with his Vinny had with his brother back in the day, it just can't be replicated by Zakk Wylde and Vinny. You know what? I bet there is some unknowns out there, people that are probably in local bands or never been in a band that can do it, because let me tell you, that night I saw Pantera. I was so curious that I came home, I went on YouTube and I typed in, you know, people doing Pantera solos. And all of them were like, whatever, but there was one out of all of them. And it happened to be a girl, too. This girl did Domination on YouTube, note for note. I mean, way better than ZAKK did that night. You know, so I think, man, you get that girl in Pantera with, hey, maybe you'll find a girl that has the precision of Charlie, and then it would work for me. But it won't work for the masses, because the masses want to see ZAKK and Charlie. They can care less that Dime and Vinny are dead. You know, I'm not saying all of them, but you know most of them. You know, oh, Pantera's coming? Oh, shit, you know, Pantera that's been away for 20 years? Holy crap. Let's go see it. And then you go see a downgrade and you walk out. I'm talking about the masses. The masses that see that and walk out and go, I just saw Pantera for the first time. No, you didn't. And no, there shouldn't be a Pantera album. Come on. Enough already. You know? Even if it's Dime's riffs. Zakk Wylde is not going to get Dime's riffs and turn it into a badass Pantera song. I know, you know, some people might say, how do you know? You haven't heard it yet. Make your decision when it comes out. Yes, I understand that. So let me say, I'll eat my words if I'm wrong. And I'll be beyond shocked, you know, if I'm wrong. But I don't think I'm going to be wrong in this instant. I really don't. You know? It'll probably be good, whatever. But, And Zakk Wylde, what happened to Zakk Wylde, man? He was so good. I mean, for me, I know a lot of people hated Zakk Wylde, but Jesus, everything that guy's been releasing, man, since Order the Black has been... And even Order the Black had too many ballads, but, you know, there were some good songs. But everything from Order the Black down, especially Pride and Glory and Book of Shadows, my favorite Zakk release. But I dug the early BLS. I had no problem. I think Blessed Hell Ride was the best one. Mafia was pretty good. And then I didn't like Shot to Hell. There were a couple in there I didn't like. But I thought Order the Black was the last really good one. And the reason why I thought it was good is because it took a while for him to record that one. He took time where it started like Shot to Hell sounded rushed. It started to sound a little too rushed, you know. Then after that, I just didn't care. I bought a couple after that, and then I just gave up. Because I just don't like anything he's done in many, many years, man. But, you know, to me, he kind of blew his load, you know, on all that killer shit he did early on. That it's hard to keep cranking out amazing music with so many albums in a row. You're bound to dip, you know, in my opinion, unless you're Lemmy. But that's just my opinion. And I said it before and I'll say it again. Pantera was like vintage Van Halen. They were like the Van Halen of the 90s. I never seen a crowd reaction as insane for Pantera since Van Halen. Seriously, Van Halen with Roth, you know? And every show was top notch, even with Phil on heroin and stuff. Reinventing the Steel was awesome. I saw him first on Cowboys from Hell. Then I saw them destroy Skid Row badly. And Skid Row was actually good that night. Pantera was great. Then I saw him headline with White Zombie a few times. Saw him at Ozfest. I saw him with Typo a couple times. Anthrax. I've seen Pantera a shitload of times. And it was always the most fun show to go to in the 90s. They just blew everybody away, if you ask me. And there were a lot of great shows I saw in the 90s. I'm not saying stuff like Slayer was bad or any of those other bands. Kiss, you know, the 96 reunion was probably as close as you can get a Pantera for me back then. You know, it was just magic. They were magical. They were a unique killer live band, and they have a lot of haters. So, whatever, man. I'm always going to love Pantera from Metal Magic. That's right, that cheesy-ass album cover. I love that album. Project in the Jungle, I love it even more. I Am the Night, fucking loved it. Power metal, loved it. You know, and then everything else, you know, Cowboys, Far Beyond Driven is my favorite. You know, Vulgar, Southern Trendkill, Reinvented Steel, even the 100 Proof Live album, all that stuff. I loved it all, and I still love it all, and I'm proud to say I am a Pantera fan. But it has to have Dime or Vinny, or it's not Pantera to me. How about to you? Leave it in the comments below. I mean, is it Pantera to you, or is it a Pantera tribute? That's what I think it is. It's like Leonard Skinner is now a Leonard Skinner tribute, even when they had freaking Rossington in the band. It's a Skinner tribute. But that's what I think. What do you all think? And thank you so much for watching The Only News That Matters. And please subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and ring that little notification bell. I would really appreciate that. And like the video. It's good for the YouTube algorithms. So stay frosty. Listen to Black Sabbath and smack 'em a gob.
Farewell and adieu to you fair Spanish ladies. Farewell and adieu, you ladies of Spain. For we've received orders for to sail back to Boston. And so never more shall we see you again.